It is time to talk back to school. Most Triad school students return to the classroom next week. Students and parents can expect changes at the area's two largest districts. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools replaced boilers and HVAC systems in several buildings. It also launched a parent hotline to answer questions about things like transportation and school policies. The district also received a safety grant to install walk-through metal detectors at middle and high schools. District leaders have held meetings all week long to discuss these changes. Now, Guilford County Schools recently installed and upgraded security equipment. Parents and students got a glimpse of them this week at open houses, and they include body scanners at all high schools, updated security cameras, and an app upgrade as well. It allows students to anonymously report incidents. GCS officials say each step like this makes the schools safer, and they wanted to address as many different areas as possible. That way, they said they had their bases covered.
Is think of each one of those dots that were on the list, right? Every little piece. That's one more layer on security. So that's one more focus on it, one more person that's paying attention, one more step to keeping it safe. So all of this works to that combined plan along with the relationships to really move that on.
The district says they didn't want to put all of their resources in one possible solution. Leaders say they wanted multiple options since each situation is different.
The relationships that we build with students is the number one thing that we can continue to focus on. All students need to have a trusted adult in the building. Will these tactics work? We will do our best to make sure that they're in place. We can't control for every incident. What we can do is make sure that we are forming relationships with our students and training on safety protocols.
That was Dr. Whitney Oakley, the district's acting superintendent. She says she feels confident going into the year in the top role because of all the prep work that's been done. Now, Triad school districts have had to address a teacher shortage as the school year has been approaching. Some areas have fared much better than others. Let's take a look at those numbers. The Alamance-Burlington school system has the most openings, 98 teacher openings. Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools, 83. Guilford County Schools, 34. And Rockingham County Schools, around 20 vacancies. Now, getting teachers into the classroom is really a nationwide problem. It's not just a Triad problem or even North Carolina. Some suggested a solution to bring back retired teachers to the classroom. Our Verified team dug into the challenges of doing so in our state.
As kids head back to the classroom, the teacher shortage is affecting almost every school district. Some viewers are wondering whether retired teachers could fill that void.
The question, can retired teachers in the Carolinas return to teaching while still collecting their retiree benefits? Let's verify. Our sources, the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, North Carolina Total Retirement Plans, and the South Carolina Retirement System and State Health Plan. In an email, NCDPI told us retired teachers can return but are subject to an earnings cap like other state retirees. The North Carolina Total Retirement Plan website details return to work laws for retired teachers. They are allowed to return to the classroom on a part-time or temporary basis, but they would be subject to earnings restrictions. Or they can stop the retirement benefits and return to work full-time. So North Carolina retired teachers cannot get their full pensions if they return to teaching full-time. Now let's take a look at South Carolina. In an email from the South Carolina Retirement System and State Health Plan, they told us retired teachers may be subject to the $10,000 earnings limitations. So once the retired teacher comes back and earns $10,000, that's when retirement benefits would be limited. There are some exceptions to the earnings limitations. So South Carolina retired teachers can get their pension and return to work, but there are restrictions.
Well, we talked to some North Carolina lawmakers about the proposal to change it. Democrat Senator Michael Garrett says he expects the state legislature to look at passing a measure to allow for retired teachers to come back. He says the move only provides a short-term solution, though. More reforms are needed to address issues for public education across North Carolina. All right, parents, if you've already done your shopping, then this stat right here does not surprise you. The National Retail Federation says inflation is expected to add a 40% increase to school supplies this year. The first day of school, less than a week away for most of the students in the Triad's two largest districts. Experts say don't expect school supplies to go down in price before then.
Definitely want to recommend shop early.
If you can, right? The National Retail Federation says most families will spend about $9,000 this year. Of course, that's more than just pens and pencils and notepads. It includes clothing, big ticket items like calculators, computers. Experts say you should be okay to buy the small stuff in person.
But for items like the backpacks themselves, clothing, laptops especially, you definitely want to shop online.
Yeah, online can offer deals, but beware of those pop-up ads on social media, which are often placed there by scammers. If a site you've never heard of before, or if the prices are way lower than the other sites, I suggest you Google the name of the company with the word scam to see if there are any reports of it being a fake website or a bad business. All right, we're all tired of hearing it, but COVID does still remain a concern for schools. Pretty much all restrictions like masks are gone, but that doesn't mean that parents should do absolutely nothing. A Cone Health doctor says his hospital has seen 200 kids with COVID, so he encourages all parents to vaccinate their children.
And that's not nothing. That's still a fair number. And so, we as pediatricians, we're just looking to make sure that no one has to end up in the hospital and be stressed out with their sick child. If there's something that you can do that's relatively simple and straightforward that can prevent that from happening, I think that's ideal.
The CDC also updated its guidance for this year. Students no longer need to stay 6 feet apart. If a student gets exposed, they don't need to test to stay in the classroom. They should test on day 5, but only isolate if they have symptoms. The CDC also recommends students exposed to the virus wear a mask for 10 days. Well, this new guidance signals that we're slowly putting the pandemic behind us. For the first time in 2 years, students and staff can hopefully have a year that isn't full of COVID disruptions. It gives everyone a chance to focus on really what matters, educating our kids.